Cracking chess in 60 or less is probably the main reason why you heard of this channel, but I invite you to watch this video as well. I'm going to show you a very awesome trick that will help you win games in under 10 moves, and you can employ that trick in many positions, not just specific one. This trick has all to do with bishop sacks on the infamous f7 square, and this is what I'm talking about. So let's say we're facing the modern defense with e4 d6 and d4 g6, and now one of the main moves is knight f3, and here comes the bishop g7, which is also quite logical. We set up the trick with bishop c4, and this is what's important. We need our knight on f3 and the bishop on c4. And now, if the opponent makes it an accuracy, and a lot of beginner to intermediate players like making these sort of moves, pitting the knight with the light squared bishop, bishop g4, we can easily get a winning position after just one move. The move to do that is the advertised bishop takes f7 check. The king more or less is forced to take, so taking is the best move, and now we get to use the opponent's spin against him with knight g5 check. You see how knight checks the king, and the queen is attacking the bishop at the same time. The best move for black is now to humbly retreat to e8 with their king, and now the queen captures the bishop. We are a pawn up, black cannot castle, and black's king side is very suspect. White is easily winning. Wait, what's that am I hearing? You're not facing the modern too often. Okay, fine, I'll show you another position where this trick actually works. e4, d5, ooh, the Scandinavian, takes, knight c3, that we all know, and now the queen retreats to d6, for example. Now d4, c6, knight f3, the opponent pins the knight, getting closer to our setup, and now we complete it with bishop c4. And now, if the opponent makes the wrong move, they get to suffer from our trick yet again. For example, one of these wrong moves in this position would be something like b5, trying to attack our c4 bishop. And now, what do? Correct. Bishop takes f7 check, king takes, knight g5 check, king e8, queen takes bishop, again, pawn up, black cannot castle, awesome position. Okay, now let me actually show you what the prerequisites for this trick are. Let me go back a couple of moves right here. First, the trick only works if the black knight is still on g8 or is on some other square where it does not protect the bishop on g4. Remember that the point of the whole combination is that in the end our queen is taking the g4 bishop. It cannot do that if it's protected by the knight. The knight will just capture the queen and will lose a lot of material. Second, probably the most obvious one, the c4 f7 diagonal should be open for our bishop to capture the pawn. For example, if there is a black pawn on e6, this trick doesn't work because the bishop cannot get to f7 pawn. Third and last, I promise, the black queen or any other piece, but usually the queen, does not oversee the g5 square. And let me show you why this is important. I will now show you a position where this trick doesn't work simply because the queen does oversee g5. For example, e4, d5, takes, queen takes, knight c3, again the Scandinavian, but this time the queen instead of d6, as in the position I showed you just, the queen goes to a5, so queen a5. d4, c6, knight f3, bishop pinning, g4, bishop c4, we're sort of achieving our setup, knight d7, and now we are kind of ready to strike, but we really shouldn't. The trick just fails to work because the g5 square is covered. Bishop takes f7 check, king takes, knight g5 check, as we saw earlier, but queen takes knight, and yes, you get to capture the black queen, that's true, but your queen gets captured as well, and even after your rook takes the bishop, the black is a piece up. So coming back here, again, the trick only works if the g4 bishop isn't protected, the g5 square isn't protected, and the diagonal is open for the sacrifice. And to cap this video off, let me show you one final position where this trick can work. It's not the only other one. There are myriads of positions where this trick can function. These are just the positions I personally came up with for the video. Alright, this time it's going to be the Sicilian, e4, c5, Smith-Morra, d4 takes, c3 takes, knight c6, knight f3, d6, bishop c4. You recognize the setup by now, knight f3, bishop c4. The bishop pins the knight, yeah, looks familiar. And now, again, the g4 bishop is not protected by the knight on g8, for example. The g5 square is not covered by the queen or any other piece, and the diagonal is open, so we can easily strike. Bishop takes f7, king takes, knight g5 check, king back to e8, we capture the bishop, happy days. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you like this sort of video. I've got lots of other long form videos that I've released so far that I really encourage you to go and see. I think they will really help you elevate your game. And just please don't hesitate to throw me some ideas. What would you like to see me cover? And if you just so happened to find this video useful, please like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitch. I stream Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Find me on chess.com, join our Discord, all that good stuff. I will talk to you very soon, my favorite unintentional gambiteers. Love you all. See you in the next one.